Hey guys, as promised, I was going to bring to you some body weight exercises for those of you that are needing a place to get started. This may give you some ideas. Those of you that perhaps don't have the money for a membership or possibly even access to certain pieces of equipment, this may give you a good idea to still get an efficient workout in your own home or at your own convenience. It is possible to break this up throughout your day, so just doing short movements or small mini workouts several times a day can also be beneficial and add up just as if you were doing a longer workout. The idea here is to think smarter, not harder. So I want to bring some body weight exercises to you just to give you an idea, and I'll also talk about at the end of this video ways that you can vary that in different types of workout routines. So the first one we're going to start with is squats. So with squats, it's very important to have good form. Make sure that you're not putting a lot of stress on the knees. With each of these exercises, I'm going to give you a beginner, moderate, and advanced option. So for the squats for beginners, if you're not very comfortable with doing squats, we would just want to go down to where we feel comfortable. So this is going to engage the quadriceps, and we're going to be able to still work the lower part of our body, but we don't have to go down into a 90-degree angle. So go down until you're comfortable. You may even need to hold on to something for balance. Moderate is we're going to make it into that 90-degree angle. Now what I mean is I really want to drive into the heel, and we want to sit. So you could even take a chair and place it behind you, or maybe do it in front of your couch. That way you get an idea just how far down 90 degrees in this knee cavity really is. So this is our proper squat formation. If you're very versed in squats and you need to just sort of mix it up a bit, you're advanced, then we would do a jump squat. So we're going to squat and we're going to explode up into a jump squat. So now we're really targeting the quadriceps, using a lot of power and strength to move ourselves upward. Another good exercise working the lower half of the body would be step-ups. So we could take a very small box or chair or bench of some sort, and we could practice stepping up onto that. Now, if you are if you have trouble with your knees, this is where things are going to vary. You may not want to get a very high box, and you're not going to want to go very quickly. Just kind of make sure that we're not leaning forward where it's going to put a lot of pressure on that kneecap. So a low box for beginners, up, even the knee up if you'd like, alternating legs. You could also use a little bit higher elevation for moderate. That's just going to get more of the quads, hamstrings, and glutes involved. Then if you are advanced, you could possibly do a box jump. Now my box here is very small, but yours may vary. Again, you don't have to have a box. You could use stairs in your home, you could use a couch, you could use a chair. Just make sure that it is sturdy so it doesn't move around. If we're focused a little bit more on upper body, we could do push-ups. Lots of folks steer away from push-ups because they're a little bit afraid of them, but they're actually a very good way to work the upper body. And so what we're going to do, beginner, if I'm a beginner, I might actually place myself up against a wall, hands shoulder width apart, and I'm going to lean into that wall. Okay, that would be my beginning stages of push-ups, because again, we are using our own body weight as resistance. A moderate type of push-up, so we're working ourselves into that traditional push-up position. We would take one knee down, toe up, extend the other leg, and then we would fall into the push-up. Okay, this gives us that flat back and still gives us the opportunity to work the upper body. Then of course our advanced folks would be ready for the traditional push-up. So arms shoulder width apart, okay? We'll be here, we'll lower and extend. Please remember to breathe on that one. So you have choices there. You can switch it up, but that gives you some flexibility. Another really good way to work The tricep muscles on the back side of the arm is dips. And for this exercise, I'm going to use this bench or box here. You could use your couch, you could use a chair, you could use your toilet seat if you had to. But we are going to just press down, dip, bending at the elbow. You know, if you have a higher spot, you could of course continue that movement, all right, and go down a little farther. This really is going to vary depending on the range of motion and what particular piece of equipment you're using. Another great example, not only for upper body but also core, and when we refer to core, we're talking about the rectus abdominal muscles in the center of the core, also the obliques, as well as the lower back. A lot of folks have trouble with abdominal exercises primarily because there's weakness in the lower back. So first thing we would do is called a plank. So an upright plank position, we would take both arms, we would plant them in front of us, and this, instead of being more of a repetition, would be for time. So we have this option here, flat back, and we would see how long we could actually hold the plank position. Moderate, we do a forearm plank. Arms are placed here, 90 degree at the elbow, and the plank is here. Butt is down. Remember to keep a flat back, not a sway back, okay? And we hear that term a lot. Advanced planks is we would add some movement into here. So we have down and up planks. So that's how you can vary those. Another great example is you could do crab walks or bear crawls, which would also serve as just a fun way to get that upper body work in with little equipment or resources. You also could add a little cardio, still focused in that plank position. You could do mountain climbers, alternating the legs. At first, the beginner would stay slow. Moderate would be a faster pace. And then, of course, advanced, there are lots of variations to mountain climbers. So you could do a spider crawl. You can do sort of at an angle to get some oblique work. And that would be something you'd have to research. Finally, we could work the lower back and also strengthen the muscles in the upper back by doing Supermans. We lie down, arms out in front, and we would fly. Hence, Superman. So what you could do with these exercises, you don't have to necessarily do them all at the same time. You could do what we call a Tabata, where you do 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. So let's say I chose squats. I would start my timer for 20 seconds, rest for 10, and then do that again for 4 sets. After I completed 4, I would move on to another exercise, for example, push-ups, and I would complete that. Typically speaking, a Tabata, you pick 4 exercises and work all the way through, and it doesn't take a very long time to proceed through that, usually anywhere from 12 to 16 minutes. Another option is high-intensity interval training. This is a little longer, and it varies a little bit. You could either do a timing mechanism. Whatever the length of time that you work, you need equal that in rest, if not more. So you're working at a very high intensity, but in a short amount of time. You can also do repetitions. So we have one routine that we call the Dirty Dozen. So we would choose just 3 of those basic exercises: step-ups, army crawls or mountain climbers, and planks. And we would do 12 repetitions of each and set a timer for 12 minutes and see how many times or rounds we can complete in a matter of 12 minutes. So those are just some ideas you can do in a very small space on a low budget and not a lot of time. I hope you found this video useful. If you have any other ideas or topics you'd like for us to cover, please send me an email and I'll be happy to cover them for you. Thanks. Have a great day.